3, 2, 1. What's up, everybody? It's Will This Week Live. This guy's in California. I'm in New Jersey. DJ Anthony here. What's up, everybody? Today's the show. What makes a great leader? With two friends talking. We're not giving any legal or medical advice. Always check with healthcare professionals. Okay, Magnus. I don't know. I was in the shower last night, and I said to myself, what makes a great leader? I don't know why I thought that. But anyways, first let me say this. I think all of us, to one extent or another, we are all leaders in some way. You know, now you're a teacher. You whether you like it or not, you're a leader. You know, and you know you are married. Anybody married, you're a co-leader, right? Your spouse has 50% of the leadership or whatever, 40 or 30, but either way, you're going to have some leadership, role. Again, you're a parent, you're a teacher, you're an army sergeant, you're in the police department, you're in the fire department, you own a dog, you have to lead that dog, you have to be a pack leader.
You're a parent.
Parents.
You're a parent, you got to lead.
100%, right? So all of us have you own a business, whatever, you're a senator, you're a mayor, you're whatever. Like all of us have some level of leadership that we have to take on, whether we like it or not. And so what makes a great leader? And, when we think of leaders, we think of like, oh, the president or the CEO of Microsoft. Yeah, those are leaders too. But again, I think sometimes we forget, no, we all are called to some level of leadership. So again,
Can I add something to that?
Yes, sir.
To start out. The problem is that a little bit in our society, we expect other people to lead us.
Well, it's human nature.
And the unfortunate truth is that you're always going to be a leader. You always have to lead one person, and that's yourself.
Well, that's true too.
So if you're not taking responsibility and be a leader about your own actions, about your own personality and things like that, you're doing yourself a disfavor.
Oh, 100%.
So you should be a leader of yourself.
Funny you mention that. So I was talking to somebody yesterday, and they were saying, and this is kind of a tricky thing here, but they were saying, "Oh, I'm praying to God that I can do whatever it was that they were looking to do professionally or in their life." And I was like, "Oh, that's cool." But as they were talking about it, I was like, like in my mind, I didn't say anything to them, but I was thinking in my mind, like, you're looking to Jesus, or you're looking you're waiting for a sign, they were telling me. I felt like saying, be the leader of your life. Step up, fuck the sign, go get it. God helps those who help themselves. If you're waiting for God to give you a sign, like, I think that's a lazy way out, or you're afraid. I'm afraid too, by the way. But you know what? God helps those who help themselves. If you're waiting for a sign, you're going to be waiting, boy. So, if you want it, go get it. That's being the leadership of yourself, like you're saying, Magnus.
You're like, again, get uncomfortable being get comfortable being uncomfortable. That's the phrase. I mean, no one, like you said, no one is gonna wait around for you to like sit around and make the perfect decision or anything like that. You gotta act. But let's go into that, because you start with your first. What do you think about a good leader?
Okay, my first quality of a great leader would be empathy and sympathy. So I had to look this one up because I always get conflated and confused with empathy and sympathy. Empathy means I feel what you feel. I understand what you're going through because I went through it. Sympathy means I didn't go through it, but I can understand you intellectually. So I think a great leader has empathy and sympathy for their troops, for their people, for their family, for their whatever. Now, what about you? What's your number one?
Similar thing is going to be my second one, but I want to go through. It's basically a 3-step rocket. So with the first 3, so I always go with like the 3 like parts of leadership. Start 1 is leading yourself. You cannot lead anybody else unless you're leading yourself. That means that you have discipline, that you have a structure, and also that you actually show up. Like you are actually you're bound to your word. You staying honest, you show up, you do what you're supposed to do, that you tell other people, that you told yourself that you were going to do.
Yeah, funny you mentioned that. I was telling somebody last night, same person. I said, 80% of life success, show up on time.
Yeah. Yes.
Okay. So
yes.
But to your point, my second one would be leading by example. We always hear that, right? So if I expect my DJs to do something, or my tennis coaches to do something, best believe, number one, I've done it a million times before, and I'm doing it now. So I'm not some fat cat sitting in an office like, I used to DJ. I know everything my people go through. my staff goes through, my team goes through it, because I'm going through it right now. So I am leading always from the front, not from behind. So yeah, example, whether you're a parent, if you don't want your kid to smoke, stop smoking. If you want your kid to get in shape, well, you get in shape. You want your dog not to poop in the house, you got to train that. You have to house break that. You have to lead that dog out of the house and reward them for good behavior and whatever. Okay, so what's your third one?
Okay, no, my second one. So my second one, what I said was similar to your first, is leading when you're leading other, is that when you're leading other, you should be positive, and you should also like actually listen a lot to what people have to say, right? So you need to stay positive, and you also need to kind of always look into, even if it's the worst news, always trying to get one positive spin about it. Like, for instance, I can have an example. I'm standing around, I'm dropping like a glass of water on the floor. Okay, that sucks, but I'm getting clean floors. So I always try to be positive, and like it's always like, and like, remember, like you said, with the empathy that goes together. You have to have empathy when you're a leader and you're leading others. Like you have to listen to what they have to say to you.
Right. Funny you mentioned that. There was a story about a Marine general in World War II, and his troops said, whatever. I don't know what the ranks are in the Marines. We'll call it a captain. And the troops said to the Marine captain, hey, we're surrounded by the Nazis. Like they've encircled us. We're dead. This is bad. So talking about being positive. So the Marine captain goes, no. Perfect. They encircled us. Now they can't run. So, so he saw it as like, cool. Now they're closer to us. We can really kill them.
Yeah.
So you're right. Perspective is big. Okay. Yeah. I would say along that line, motivate, right? I think a great leader, like to your point, when the chips are down, you spilt the water, look at the positive. Hey, right. This is bad, but I don't know if you ever watched the movie 300. Right. When he said they threatened the Spartans, saying like, we'll shoot so many arrows into the sky, we'll make the day night. And then the Spartan guy said, perfect. We love fighting at night. So, like, yeah, you got to be like, I'm down for whatever. Okay, cool. So what's your next one?
So my third one is when you're a leader, you're always on. There's no on-off switch. You are leading constantly. That's a little bit what you mentioned before. Like, it's what the saying is, who are you when no one else is looking? Right. Well, you better lead then as well, because someone is always watching you, especially today's society, right? So you do not want to be the guy that is slipping just because you think that you're not getting watched.
Right.
So, and that comes down to a personality, and also like keeping your standards up. Right. Like even if you're alone, it's like, well, I don't feel like it. No, then you get up and do it anyway.
Right.
Yeah. Right. Yeah. Like it's just that you have that moral compass about always like you have to be. You don't have to be better than others, but you have to like actually put in the effort of like, yes, I'm leading even when no one is around.
Right. Yeah, for sure. Passion, I would say, is my next one. When you see someone has a passion, they don't care what it is. I don't care if it's shoe shining or you're a neurosurgeon, but passion is infectious. It's like, wow, I want to be around that person because they have love. And I think it was Mr. Rogers said, if you want to teach a child something, you don't even have to say anything. Just do something you enjoy around them. And then that's it. They'll pick up that they'll see, and they'll want to know, because they see that you're happy and you're passionate and you want to do, whatever that is that you're doing. But yeah, so passion, having that passion for something. I know for me with my businesses, I'm in business with the things that I love to do. I don't do shit for money. So the irony is, I want them making money, but I'm not doing it for money. I'm doing it because I have a passion for it. And that I think translates. Okay, what about you?
Isn't that funny how that works? If you're passionate and like you're putting like a lot of time and effort into it, all of a sudden you start making money.
Well, that's it, right? I mean, because people, they see that. And I'm not even talking about being perfect. I'm not talking about being the best.
No.
I'm not even talking about being the best. I'm talking about, that they, my customers see me and they know that I love what I do. Oftentimes I work for free, but obviously I got to get paid, but I'm not about the money. And yeah, that's it. And so people see that. And I think that goes with anything, right?
Yeah.
If you love being a parent, if you love being a teacher, or you love whatever, being a construction worker, like, yeah, that's going to catch on.
Yeah.
Okay, what's your next one?
So my fourth, it's something called get off the X. So this, you see that this is like a lot of in companies, and you see it also like in teams, and you also see it, you can see it as individual as self, meaning that, you know, X marks the spot, right? You're standing still. A lot of things don't happen because procrastination. You're not moving, you're not doing, because you're not driving things forward. So a good leader keeps you pushing. You, like, sometimes it doesn't have to be forward, it could be sideways, sometimes it even back way, but you're not just sitting still and waiting for shit to happen. You actually make out, and or you go out and you're actually being proactive and moving along. And you see that, like, unfortunately, when it comes to a lot of businesses, it becomes stale after a while. So this is kind of why you want to get off the X. And it's the same thing for me, for instance, like when you're getting an education, like, it gets stale. Okay, then you need to re-educate yourself. You need to move forward. You need to learn something new. So you're constantly like trying to evolve, both as a person, and also like if you're running a business, or if running your family, or if you're whatever it is, like, don't just sit around and do the same thing over and over and over and over. Try to sprinkle in, try to become even better at what you're doing right now.
Yeah, you're 100% right. My last one, I would say, I mean, there's so many we can talk about, but my last one would be discipline. You know, staying the course no matter what. My friend was telling me yesterday or 2 days ago, saying that I have a friend that works at BMW, and he went to go see Toyota headquarters in Japan. And he's like, wow, at BMW, when you go to the headquarters, it's the latest, most beautiful furniture ever you've ever seen at the headquarters, the offices. But he went to Toyota. He was like, Toyota still had furniture from the 1980s. And the Toyota way is never waste a penny. Always stay focused.
Yep.
Don't waste money on stuff that really doesn't matter. You know, the furniture was intact. It wasn't broken or beat up, but it was just outdated. And it's all about stay the course, you know, manage the money well, you know, spend where you have to spend, don't spend where you don't have to spend. And so he was saying that BMW, you know, okay, they're good cars, but that as a company, as a theme or an ethos, they're a little bit wasteful, and Toyota's not. Hence why Toyota makes much more money than BMW ever will. But anyways,
like another company, IKEA, is the same way. So the guy that actually built and started it up from basically his garage. Why do everybody start out in their garage?
Right.
All the big, like, have you seen the picture when you see like
Apple,
IBM, Apple, everybody's starting out in the garage.
Like that,
no, it's so cool when it comes down to it. So a lot of things happens in the garage. That's why I have a garage gym. So anyhow, so when it comes down to it, he did the same thing. It's like we are trying to reduce the price as much as possible for the customers. We want them to get the best, but it should be as cheap as possible as well. Like, it's not, of course, like, we're not going to lose money, but it's the same thing when you're looking at Costco. They're losing money at certain things. For instance, their chicken, their hot dogs, things like that.
They're making it somewhere else.
Exactly. And IKEA was the same thing with their idea.
Well, IKEA is so smart that they actually put most of their stores near rivers, because it's easier to ship in.
Do you know that there's a lot of things to open up a place on IKEA store? You have to fulfill a lot of things. It needs to be close to several highways. It needs to be easy parking, so things like that. So they have a specific list about everything that, like, as much as possible.
They're very smart.
And they actually make the city to pay for a lot of those things, because they know that it's a good place to have an IKEA. So my last thing, and this is something that as a leader, you need to be visible at certain places and visible at others. So what I mean with that is that when something goes wrong, that's when you need to be visible. You are the one that steps in and say, okay, I take the blame. It's my fault. It doesn't have to be it, but you're the one, you're the leader. You step in and say, like, hey, yes, we messed up. I take full responsibility for it, and so on, right? And then when you're getting praise, when like, oh, you guys are the best in the world, I didn't do anything. I was just here. The team did everything. So that's what a good leader is. You're not driven for egocentric reasons. You're driven because of the team is doing well. 100%. And I think that there's where a lot of people go wrong. They think that it becomes their egocentric, egomaniac thing that they're the one that is responsible for everything. Yeah, you might have a good ideas, but still, like, if you don't surround yourself with the best people and try to evolve them and make them better,
Right.
you're like, you're losing out as a leader.
I agree. Now, in closing, let me ask you this.
Yeah.
Okay, so who in your mind is one of the best leaders that you know that you've encountered in your life? Now, we can't. Let's keep family out of it because we know our.
Okay,
Mom
I was gonna say my mom,
uh,
but let's take that. Yeah, otherwise I would have said my mom. My mom is actually I think I see her. She doesn't see herself as a good leader, but I would see her as a good leader.
Okay.
So
Yeah, I mean,
but let me see. You go with yours first, and then I'm gonna think this over
yeah.
because you caught me with my pants down a little bit.
Oh, no problem. Yeah. So for me, because I just thought of this in my head. Anyway,
Yeah.
So for me, which is good though, it's a raw video where we're being honest. Yeah. I mean, look. Yeah. I think even my parents have some good leadership qualities, but yeah, I don't want to. I hate when I don't. I think it's easy to say mother or father, and that's true. Hey, if you feel like it's your mother, God bless. But I would say outside the family, I used to work for this drugstore when I was a child or young a teenager, and the owner, his name was Anthony. I thought he was such a great leader. Now, no one's perfect, but this man, he was a pharmacist and he opened up 2 drugstores and and he built up his business and employed several people. And he was so disciplined, so passionate, so driven. He managed every penny, and he was a tough person to work for. But he taught me a lot about business and leadership, and just he lived at this pharmacy to the detriment of his own family. Actually, he wasn't. Although he was a good man and a good father and a good husband, he wasn't someone that was. You can't serve 2 masters, so he wasn't always, hands-on with his kids and stuff like that. And he wasn't the father that was always at all the soccer games because he was working at the pharmacy. And we always used to joke with him and say, "Oh, to the owner, Anthony, would say, hey, they're going to bury you in aisle 3 of your pharmacy. He's always there." But so far as leadership goes, he led by example. You know what? He was loyal to his wife. He was a good father, always provided for the family. But at the store, that's where it was at. He led by example. He always worked every day, 7 days a week. He was a pharmacist. He didn't have to. He was always there working as a pharmacist, and he was great with people. He was empathetic, sympathetic, but a tough taskmaster. He didn't take no shit. And, so I really admire him and his leadership role. So that would be for me, the guy who owned the local pharmacy in my town when I was younger. And he has passed away now, but anyways, what about you?
So I know, at least I would then just quickly, because I'm gonna skip. I know a couple of which I consider good leaders within, when we're looking at the training space, their coaches and things like that. And I met some of them personally, and they're good people. But I don't want to talk to them. I want to say someone that I think is a little bit more personal. I'm choosing between 2 friends. So I'm gonna mention them both, not by name or anything like that. One is in Sweden, and another guy is in the States. They're successful business owners. They're successful fathers. They're also gone through a lot of things in life, and they always somehow seems to be able to right the ship, even if it's complete chaos. Selling companies, buying them back, things like that. Always making things successful in some way or form. So, which I admire a lot, and they also have the time to be a good friend on top of that.
Nice.
So I think that's such a unique skill that one thing, yes, of course, one of the things will kind of sometimes overtake the rest of the life, but always have some type of form to pivot back and have kind of the pieces together. They probably don't think that they have their pieces together, but in life, but me standing on the island, and of course I don't know everything what goes on in their life, but they're doing a really good job.
Right. Okay, cool. Yeah. I mean, there's a lot of hats to wear.
Yes. And understanding that with the balance of okay, you're not sometimes you have to be the father, sometimes you have to be the business owner, sometimes you have to be the great friend, sometimes you have to be the guy that, hey, like actually tells the honest truth,
Right.
and it's not a yes sayer. So yeah,
Right.
yeah.
All right. Very
No,
good,
but
man. Yeah,
leadership is something that I think a lot of people say is that leadership is something that you have or you're not. I think that a lot of leadership you can actually teach yourself and
yeah. I
expose
think you
yourself
can learn
to.
it. Yeah.
And I think that a lot of people would actually do good on reading a little bit about
Yeah.
leadership,
Yeah.
just to get, and also like one thing that I'm truly happy about is that I've had a lot of different experience with both good and bad leaders, and a lot of things that I've learned the most from is actually bad leaders, because it's
Right.
like that's exactly what I would not do.
Right.
So
Right.
you
Yeah.
learn a lot from that as well.
Yeah. No, I agree. And the irony is, I would say most politicians and most like senators, governors, even presidents,
Yeah.
they're actually, just because you have a leadership position doesn't mean you're a leader. All it means is you got elected and you're popular.
Yeah.
So
Academia is the same. Academia is very much the same.
right, right.
Yeah.
And by the way, well, you go ahead.
Yeah, no, it's just that you are good at, for instance, research or things like that. Then
Right.
you get into a leadership role. You're supposed to you have PhD students, you have students that you need to teach for, and things like that. You're not a teacher, and you're not a good leader. So just because you're good at something doesn't mean that you can become a good leader. A good leader is a good leader, not a good scientist, a good
Right.
doctor,
100%.
or whatever. So
Yeah.
that's something
All
to,
right, man.
and business owners, or like people in business, remember that, like you're hiring a leader, not someone that is just good at something.
Oh, 100%.
Unless they're good at leading. So remember that they need to be good at leading. That's what
Right.
they're there for.
Right. Yeah. Well said, my man. I have nothing else to say. I'll wrap this bad boy up. So excellent, folks. Don't forget, like, subscribe. Thank you for checking in, everybody. And away we go. Signing
Bye,
off. 5,
guys.
4, 3,